Hello everybody, it's me, Nikki, and today I'm here to talk about Final Fantasy. I showed off one book in a Christmas haul. I think that should have gone up by now. So I thought I would talk about all three editions I have. It's the Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive. This is volume 1, which is games 1 through 6. And these were all the games that first came out on the Famicom and yeah, I think these ones all came out on the Famicom at first, and they were eventually released and like a Nintendo DS and like PlayStation editions, but like digital type of things. Super Famicom. So these are like very old games. Let me see if I can find the last one. Here we go. And this one is the Super Famicom and the SNES. So the first game was published in 1987 in Japan, and the main characters don't have names. I'll show you it in a second. But legend has it it's called Final Fantasy because it was, they were just Square at the time, I believe. It was like their last thing, or else they would go under. Now, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it's a nice little legend. So here's what this looks like. This is basically how all the games break down. On this page you have the story, and on this page you have all the characters. And as we'll see, it gets a little more complicated. But yeah, this is it. You've got your Warriors of Light. They don't have names. They don't have jobs. They can be whatever you want. And these are all the bad guys up here. And then those are all the people they meet. I do have it on the PlayStation. I do own all the games except 11. I haven't played them all, but I have them all. And then, so the first game, Final Fantasy 1, is pretty short. This little intro, because it wasn't as evolved as it gets. So that, and they just have like lots of drawings. And like of the bad guys and the world. That's not a drawing, but here's some monsters. And a lot of the monsters that are in 1 are in the whole game. Let's see if I can find one. Like this Sahagin right here. That's different looking, but it's in the whole game. Let me see if I can find like a famous one. Here's some famous ones. The Ochu is a famous one. And then these are the 4 bosses right here. The Lich, Merilith, Kraken, and Tiamat. And then also, on some of the pages they'll have like memorable events or like memorable boss enemies and stuff like this. And this is Final Fantasy 2. The artwork is amazing, by the way, in all the games. So, and here's the characters for 2. Oof. As you see, it got a little more complicated, but still not bad. You still only have 4 parties. Party members, excuse me. And this time all the characters have little details. There's like a little bio about them, memorable quotes, and memorable scenes. well, there's a couple more party members, I guess. Of course, and there's a Sid. There's a Sid in every game, except in 12 there's 2. No, not 12. Yeah, 12, there's 2. Like right here, it'll say memorable feature about one of the enemies you're killing. Let's see. Because there's a behemoth, and that's like, oh, here it is. Right there. The first instance of the behemoth, which is now a staple. If you run into a behemoth, or an adamantoise, you're pretty, and if you're under leveled, you're just, what's the point of even trying? But then it feels really good when, like a behemoth that's kicked your ass, you finally kick its ass. And then here's the bad guys again at the end. So I just, like I said, I never really played 1 through 6, so this was really fun. I did play Final Fantasy III on my DS for a little bit. So this was really fun to just... Look, the characters get a little more complicated. To like learn about the backstory to everything and see how it changed. And this is one of my favorite things. This is from the job. This is, I think, when jobs really started. Look at those cute little things. But these are like all the classic jobs, like warrior, ninja, white mage, black mage, red mage, thief. It might be ranger, blue mage, onion knight, and then they like evolve. So I love those little chibi things. So yeah, look at these drawings. These are just gorgeous pieces of work. So yeah, it was really fun in this book, which I got maybe 2018, 2019. Okay, here's 5. Or 4, excuse me. Look at that character sheet. It went from like basically a white page to like it's just huge. This one has a lot of characters that you play as, so that's fun. I think the class system comes and goes until it just sticks around. Oh, look at these cute little character illustrations. So yeah, like I keep interrupting myself. It was fun to learn about the backstories to these games that, you know, I didn't have a lot of experience with or that I own, but I'll probably never really play. I mean, you know. So here's 5 now. Again, it's pared down. They're the Warriors of Light again. And none of the games are connected. So you could play 2 and then 10 and you wouldn't have missed anything, which also is really fun. Do they have the jobs? Okay, here's some more cute little... We'll find it first. This is your main character, Bartz, and this is him as all the cute little sprites. Look at that. That is adorable. And this is when you get some of your classics. Knight, Monk, Thief, Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai. Berserker is on and off. Ranger, depends. Mystic Knight in every couple of games. White Mage, Black Mage, Time Mage. Depends on the game. Summoner. Chemist, also as an alchemist at some point. Mime, I've never used Mime. That never shows up again. And this one, I mean, just look at that gorgeous artwork. Here's the characters for 6. Again, a little more complicated. And do they have classes? They might not. And I think Tara might be the main protagonist in 6, so that would be the first one to have a female protagonist. But she might be co-protagonist, I'm not sure. Yeah, this one doesn't have jobs, so they're sort of locked into... Here's the main bad guy, Kefka. You're a clown. Because clowns are scary. And a lot of these games have what they call espers. Oops. Right there. I'm not sure if this might be the first one to have them. That was the... Oof. That was this thing. It came on the back, but I keep it in the front. So yeah, that was volume 1. Oof. This one that I got for Christmas is volume 2. I've talked about this. This is 7 through 9. And I was like, why just 7 through 9? Why not add 10? These were all PS1 games. So, and there's a lot to talk about with this was like probably 7. 7's the one everybody talks about. I personally first played 8, so I like that. And I do have 9. I have all of these for PS4, and I'm going to get the remake of this, of 7. So 8 is my personal favorite out of this bunch. But I know Amy really likes 9, so I'm sure she'll be excited about this. Oof. Here's that thing again. Just put that there so it doesn't fall out. And again, the art is just amazing. So look, it was 4 discs. Ugh, I remember 8 being 4 discs as well, and I still didn't beat it. And then look at these. Look at this art. It's basically like an art book, but with telling you about it and the backstory. Here's the characters. A little more complicated. And it tells you about like all the characters, and which is fun because like I said, I didn't play 7, so but I know of it. Like Sephiroth is in everything. He's in Kingdom Hearts. I think he's in the Super Mario game, the brawler game that I can't remember. And I should play it because I love Red right here. He's awesome. I mean, I do have it, so I will play it. I'll probably even stream it. You have, I think this might, no, he's not your first playable Sid, but he's one of the first. There was another Sid that was playable, but he's like the main guy. Here's that image of Sephiroth right there. That still holds up as good CG. I mean, oof. Lots of other characters I didn't know about, so that was fun to learn about. This was the first game that had 3D animation. If I could try to... Oh god, why do I keep tilting it? There you go. That's Midgar, the main city. Still holds up. I think that still looks good. I mean, close up it might not look good, but from far away it does. I think this might be the, like, with vehicles besides airships. Don't quote me on that. So here's your summons. Shiva, Leviathan, Bahamut. I don't think this is all of them, because there's no Ifrit or anything. They even have, like, storyboards, which is cool to see how it comes about. Let me turn something off because I know it's going to go off while I'm still talking about it. Should have done that before, but I didn't. My bad. Yeah, and this one is 8. It's a lovely little romance. I didn't used to like Renoa. I've quite learned to like her now. But I still don't like that, like, Squall keeps telling her no. And she's like, oh, but it's okay. And I'm like, that's not gonna fly nowadays. If someone says no, they mean no. So here's more artwork. Gorgeous. A lot of times, I think this one might be where the story gets a bit strange. You have to like really pay attention to some parts of the story. Like in 7, it's pretty straightforward. These are some CGI pictures. But this one's a bit complicated and you're like, okay, how does that work? And that's the character sheet. And then Renoa right there has a dog named Angelo. Apparently Angelo's a girl. That's not how that works. It should be Angela, but whatever. And this is their sort of main hub. And I remember playing this, and there's a thing you have to do. It's like a test, because you're like in the army, and there's a test, and you're fighting against another army, and they send a big robot after you, and there's a part, you don't want to fight it, except for the first time, because it'll just destroy you. So you have to run away from it in a time limit. I hate time limits. But there's a part on the bridge, or a bridge, where you have to run this way, and then it jumps, and then run that way, and it jumps, and then run again, and not let it catch you. It took me so long. I like put the game down for a very long time before I could do it. I'm not very good at the game. In this one I remember a lot of the summons, or the guardian forces as they're called. Right there. Do they? Oh, they have Shiva. You come with 2, Quetzalcoatl and Shiva. Here's some more. You get your famous Doom Train, Alexander, Odin. Get some more vehicles. There's the ending storyboard, which is very fun. Now we're on to 9, and I'm sure this is the part where Amy's gonna be like, fast forward. Oof. I mean, just I can talk about the drawings all day. They are gorgeous. So here is 9's character sheet. It's a bit complicated. Not the worst I've seen. I mean, we'll get to some more. I knew about 9, but I didn't play it. But there's a character, her name's Aiko. I think that's how you say it. And she's 6. And she's like madly in love with Zidane, who's 16. And I'm like, no. But this is my favorite. Vivi is my absolute favorite. I adore him. I love him. He deserves all the nicest things. And this is the first one, I think, where they like really worked on the faces, because there's this expressions in CG, which never was before, so that's cool. They're getting like more detailed. Let's get to some good stuff. I mean, it's all good stuff in my opinion. Oh, the chocobos. The chocobos and Moogles, even the fat chocobo, they will never not be cute, in my opinion. This is like villagers. we can find some good stuff. Oof. Let's see if I can find... We've got a whale zombie, which is new. But yeah, you can pretty much, when they first give you a behemoth, and you know, there's some classic monsters that are just everywhere. So you got some summons, classic Shiva and Ifrit. Ramu, Atomos, I don't think he's around too much. Odin, Leviathan, Bahamut is in everything. Bahamut is one of their mains. And then there's Alexander, but he's like the actual city and also a summon. They show you some weapons, which is cool. And yeah, that's that one. Oof. Oops. So I'm basically, like, if you like Final Fantasy, you will like these books. Like, even if you've only played, let's say 10, you're gonna like these books. So, yeah. Okay. I have to switch arms. My arm's getting tired. So this is volume 3, and it is 10 through 14. 10, it does not have 10-2 or any of the sequels to 13. So that's 13-2 and 13 Lightning Returns, I think it's called. They don't have that because it's like the same assets. I wish they did though, because I'm quite fond of 10-2. They also don't have the sequel to 12, but that was a DS game, I think. And then they don't talk about 14 a lot, but I believe that's because you can currently play 14. Like 11, they have which is the other MMO, which is still playable, apparently, and people still are playing it and subscribe to it. But a lot of people won't play that, but they're more likely to play 14. So. And then, I didn't show you any of this in the other books. Because it's always based about crystals. Crystals are involved somehow. And these are all, like, the quotes from the main characters, I think. And that's, like, the quotes from the bad guys over there. So 10 was on the PlayStation 2. As was 10-2, which I'm quite fond of 10-2. And it has been, do they talk about that in this one? Yeah, they do. It's been remastered for the PlayStation Vita and the 3 and 4. I have the PlayStation HD remaster, PlayStation 3. I might get the PlayStation 4, but I don't know. I mean, it's probably cheap. It's on sale. But yeah, that's a CG down there with Titus, or Titus, and Yuna. I mean, the graphics. Oh, the CG graphics still hold up. They're amazing. The only thing I do not like about 10 is there's an underwater game that they call Blitzball, and you have to play it to get one of your characters, like, really good weapons, and you have to win. And I'm like, whew, that takes a little more effort than I'm... but, you know, for achievements, maybe. That's the story, and that's the characters. Not too bad. Still a bit complicated. I mean, look at this. That there, and that there, perfect. They still hold up. And they don't really have jobs as such. They go with weapons. Yuna right here is your summoner, so she's going to have all the fancy little summons. Lulu is one of my favorites. because of her outfit, and she has stuffed animals. This is your main bad guy, Seymour. Sephiroth was probably, or is probably, the most well-known bad guy. And there's a lot of characters in this one, like even people you meet in a one-off, and they are important. And it's just a really well fleshed out world. And some of the places are just gorgeous. Even the drawings are gorgeous. Let's get you... Always gotta look for a behemoth. Oh, here's one. The Marlboro is also a high-level monster. But it's always fun to be like, oh no, I'm running into it. And then later you're like, yes, I can take you. And this is another sort of main villain, Sin, right here. But it's not really a villain. It's just, it's a thing. Here's some of the summons. Velfor is only in this one. But some of the... this one is where I first got introduced. Well, no, I did have Shiva in 8, but 10 Shiva, chef's kiss, she's perfection. She has an attack called Diamond Dust, and she, like, extends her hand and snaps, and it all breaks apart. It is fantastic. Lots of airships on this one, and animals. Here's some. They even came up with their own script of the different languages, which is cool. Like, you don't have to do that, but they just put so much into it. And then 11 came out on the PlayStation 2 and Windows, and there's a lot. It even eventually came out on the Xbox 360. I've never played this one, but it's very interesting. I do have friends who have played it, and that's where they met each other. And then we all play 14 together. So there's your characters. And this one, you've got Humes, which are humans. Eleven, which are elven. Taru, Mithra, and Galaka. And it was fun to read about this because I didn't know what it was about at all. I was disappointed that it was an MMO when it first came out because I didn't play those. I didn't know how it worked. I think I'd heard of World of Warcraft, and I understood how it worked on a computer. Didn't know how it worked on a PlayStation. So yeah, but I mean, look, the art is fantastic. And then we'll get into 12. This is another of my favorites. This came out on the PlayStation 2 as well. I almost finished it originally on the PlayStation 2, and I believe I stopped right before the final boss. But I do have it on PlayStation 4. So have I played? I don't even think I'm halfway through. So again, the art. I love all the characters in this. And here is your characters, which is a little confusing. The lines, yeah, I know what 12 is about, and I still had to follow the lines a little carefully. This is one of my favorites, Vaughn. What kind of pose is that, Vaughn? You want to be a sky pirate, don't you? I'll show you my other favorite character. Fran. Fran. I love Fran. She's just amazing. And I don't like the judges, the people in the funny armor. And all them. But when they walk, you can hear their armor clanking. And you're like, oh my god. It's just like us, like, you know that's what armor would sound like when walking. So in here we have our two Sids. Where'd you go, Sid? There's Dr. Sid down there. And then we have an owl Sid up there. And then of course, Moogles. Always cute, even if they look different. And this is just a rich, a lovely world. Let's see if I can find something. Like, look at that. Just, ugh. And I believe 12 was the first game where you could see the monsters on the screen and run away from them if you wanted to. So no random battles, which was fun. And then all the, like Leviathan and Ifrit right here, they're ships instead of, like Shiva, Alexander, Atomos, Pandemonium, Carbuncle. They're ships instead of summons. And these are your summons right here. They're called espers, like they have been in other games. And they're different and anybody can equip them, so. Oh, and then this, like if you haven't played 12, don't worry about it, but they strongly imply that Ash is in love with Balthier, and I'm like, where did you get that? If that was supposed to be conveyed by the actors of the story, it didn't work. Because most people assume Balthier and Fran love each other. So, and then we have another of my favorites, because I adore Lightning. She's the second female lead. This was on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Who cares about that? There you go. There's Lightning. I love her. She's a badass. Look at them. Look at my babies. I love everybody in 13. And here is this character sheet. And I played this to the end. I finished it. I'm still not, I'm not quite sure what was happening. I think I might have to play it again. I'd actually really like them to release 13 and 13.2 for like the PlayStation 4 or something. But yeah, I didn't really understand it. Like why the fighting started or whatever. So here's Lightning. She's cool. Look at how cool she is. Ugh. Then that's Snow. This is Vanille. This is Fang, they're also cool. And they are from like 600 years ago. And it says that Fang sees Vanille as a sister. And I'm like, was that? Because no, they're more like lovers, in my opinion. or, you know, girlfriends. So yeah, again, they didn't tell that to the actresses. And it's really cool because Fang and Vanille have like an Australian accent to indicate that they are from a different place and perhaps a different time. Lots of characters. This is the world, which is quite different. It's just a flat. This is where you start up here in Cocoon. Where am I? There I am. And then this is the world that you go to, and that's different. But I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's so pretty. And again, I think the graphics really hold up. And once you get down to Grand Pulse, the continent, I mean, look. Look. It's just a really fun game. And, once you really get into it, it's, because, like, it takes a while with the new battle system and stuff, but it's really fun. And then these are the False Sea, which are like gods, sort of, maybe, and they sort of control things on the planet, and then on Cocoon. And each, I'm only showing you Odin right here, lightnings, but everybody has their own Eidolon that is, specific to them. I don't know. Here's Shiva and Brynhildr. I think Odin and Shiva and Alexander, and I don't know how to say that one. And then Fang. Of course Fang gets Bahamut. Of course she does. And then some more of their weapons, and oof, how you can like upgrade them. So here's the best sword, which is Omega weapon. Ultima weapon, or maybe Ultima weapon's the best weapon, I'm not sure. Save the Queen, it's a classic. It's in Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. Nirvana, there is no Save the King. They've got some crests and logos. And there's some more materials. And then they've made their own script again, which is fun. And then we have 14, which came out for Windows and PlayStation 3 and 4. And this is a Realm Reborn, because the original game was not good. And then it got taken over by Yoshida-san, who had played MMOs, and he was like, we can fix this. So they fixed it, and now it's very popular. And this is pretty much all they have on it. That's the story. This is from the old game, the first version, and then this is the new one. So no connections. These are your Hyor, Lalafell, Mikyote, Elezen, and Rogaiden. They've added some more as well. Those are some classes you can play. Those are the mobs you're fighting over here anyway. Titan is the worst. Those are your locations. Limsa Laminsa is like a pirate capital. Gridania is in the woods, and Ul'dah is in the desert. And that's it. So I was a little disappointed they didn't have more on 14, but I figure that's because you can play it and go see it for yourself, or it's more easily accessible than 11. So yeah, thanks for indulging me in almost 40 minutes of talking about Final Fantasy. I love the games, I love these books, and I just really wanted to share them with everybody. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you play Final Fantasy, or if you want like more in depth on a certain game or something, I'd be quite happy to do that. So thanks for watching already, but thank you again. And I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!